What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on the channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. This video is also brought to you by two things. Since we don't do any sponsorships here on the channel, I'll show them out real quick. The first is my music, which is available anywhere you stream music under the name After Sound, and the second is a new podcast I just launched called Chasing Infinity, so links in the description below. Check them out. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate the support. Okay, guys, let's jump into survival mode. This is a post that was put out by the team about 5 minutes before the town hall last night. Matt did go a little bit more in depth, so I'll try to include some of his thoughts from there. And then, we did a post town hall reaction stream with myself, Tails, and Lorcas, and we dug into a lot of other things, which I actually don't want to get into now because those were the ideas that we had to fix survival mode if it needs to be fixed. And at the end of the day, like that was all just speculation on what we'd like to see. But this is the post. This is what to expect as of now from this game mode from the team in the very near future. So the team is excited to announce an upcoming new gameplay format known as survival mode. It'll be a new ranked play format in addition to modern and wild. Let's see, similar to wild format, any card may be used except for gladiators unless they're brought in through summoners or rule sets. And the use of battle helpers and automation tools will be allowed, aka bots. There's not currently planned to be any pass or payment required to participate. Survival mode will, however, include two significant changes that we expect will create a very interesting and unique gameplay experience. No energy required per battle, so players can battle as much as they want, but when a card dies in survival mode, it will not be able to be used again for a period of time, and there's going to be a cooldown. So as I say here, the cards themselves are essentially the energy, which is a really cool concept that we saw with the other sister game that was launched, right? Was it Genesis League Goals? So survival mode is less about choosing individual teams for each battle and more about overall collection management. It changes the collection strategy from do I have one copy of each card I need at the high level to how many copies of each different card do I need and at what levels. So with only these two relatively small changes, survival mode creates a completely different type of game that can appeal to a different type of player. Nearly all other aspects of ranked battles will remain the same, so including seasons, end of season resets, the rating system, and matchmaking. So rewards. So survival mode will have an SPS pool of the same size that we currently see for both modern and wild. That means players will win SPS from that reward pool for each win in survival mode. Now, let's see. The total number of reward shares earned from all survival mode battles over the past 15 days. The same calculations, modifiers, and bonuses. Okay, so all of that same stuff from the regular modern and wild. There will also be leaderboard rewards for players who have the highest ratings. That sucks because that's more DEC in the mix. Just kind of printed out of thin air, which I don't particularly care for. So initially, both the SPS rewards and leaderboard rewards will be supplied by the Splinterlands company. After some time, assuming that the survival mode format is well received and is adding value to the ecosystem, we hope the SPS stakeholders will approve the rewards to be paid from the DAO or from the available remaining SPS inflation via governance proposal vote. Yeah, so I think it's great. The team is going to test this out with their own capital. We'll see how it goes. Glint rewards are also planned to be added for the survival mode battles or battle wins after a few seasons. They want to collect some data first, see how it goes, and make sure that reasonable amounts of glint are being given out and not just, farmed. So card cooldowns on death. The primary difference between survival mode and the other ranked play is that when a card dies, it goes on cooldown for a period of time. Please note, if it goes on cooldown, it cannot be used in any other battles, including survival, modern, wild, tournaments, and guild brawls. Until that cooldown period is over. So this is not a survival cooldown specific. It is a cooldown for the entire game. So please note that cards on cooldown will still be able to be transferred, delegated, listed for sale, rent, and put to work on land. The existing cooldown indicator will be used to indicate if the card is on cooldown and for how long. So summoner cards will be considered to have died in survival mode if the team loses. In the case of a draw, neither summoner will be considered dead and can be reused. The cooldown time for a specific card will be based on the card's rarity, level, and foil. So basically, here's what it is, right? So you can look here for commons, for example. If it's a single BCX, it's going to take 15 days for you to get that back. So essentially an entire season. Whereas if it's max, it's 5 days, so like 1/3 of a season. Rares have something similar, 12.5 in 4 days, epics, 10 days and 3 days, legendaries, 5 days and 2 days. So this is not like this stuff is going to be cooled down in a couple of hours, right? Even if you're using max level copies of cards, you may not be able to use them, especially like a legendary card. You'll be able to use it for another 2 days, right? For a common card, you won't be able to use it for another 5 days. And if you're using just regular 1BCX cards, I mean, they're pretty much done for the entire season, right? If it's like a common. So please note that 1BCX will use the base cooldown, and then additionally, gold foils will have half the cooldown time of the equivalent regular foil. So they go into an example here. We don't need to jump into that math for right now. So revival potions. A new type of potion will also be added to the Splinterlands shop with the release of survival mode that will revive a card that has died in survival mode, removing its cooldown so that it can be immediately used in battles. So each revival potion can be used on a single card and will remove its entire cooldown, no matter how long that cooldown is. They will be purchasable with DEC credits and Glint, and their cost is still TBD. Now, the one thing that comes to mind about this that we didn't discuss last night at all is if you can do revival for cooldown on survival, and cooldown on survival is cooldown for anything, is there a potential exploit there where people who like to transfer cards to, back and forth to one another that have cooldown and take advantage of like multiple accounts and multiple energy, will they just be able to pay for those potions? I don't know how exploitable that is. I know that it is exploitable. I don't know how much of an impact it'll make. I don't like the idea of it being purchased with Glint, to be honest, because DEC and credits actually add more value to the ecosystem, but that's just a little bit of a side thought there. Players will be able to apply revival potions manually through the card detail screen. There's also planning to be an option to use revival potions automatically, in which case the system will use the available revival potions to remove cooldown on cards that die in survival mode battles automatically. All right, so then MVP and future iterations. We fully expect, after reading this, the player community will have tons of ideas and suggestions. Let's see. Indeed, the Splinterlands team has had many such ideas during the design process. While we have listened to and noted all the ideas that we have presented, this is basically what they're getting out in the minimum viable product version. So we can discuss and debate infinitely or indefinitely about how it will go and what will work, but they just want to put it out there and give it a try. Assuming the new format is well received, we fully intend to iterate on it over time and incorporate player feedback. So some ideas that have been discussed internally that we may look to add in the future. Again, this is not confirmed, but a modern version of survival mode that only allows modern sets, a version of survival mode that does not allow any bots, a limited time survival format that offers special prize pools or allows limited sets. For example, there could be a month-long survival event that's only rebellion cards and has a special prize pool, and the ability to craft revival potions using land plots and or land resources. That's actually kind of awesome. I hope that they can do something like that. Additionally, things like card cooldown times, times on death, reward amounts, and structure, all of that stuff is subject to change. They're trying to gather feedback, and this is the first portion of them gathering feedback, right? So survival mode, prepare your collection. Survival mode will be all about collection management. The best player with only one copy of each card may easily get past in rating if they just don't have multiple copies. We are extremely excited to see what interesting and unexpected strategies come from this new format, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. So overall, that is where things are at. I am, we talked about bots and all of that yesterday, and I have certain thoughts about that. If it's exploitable, sure, but I have to imagine the team has done a good job of reducing and removing the impact of bot farms. So I know that there's concerns about this. I'll be honest, I'm not as concerned. And the thing is, they're going to be testing this and iterating on it relatively quickly. So sure, could bot farms come in and dominate the first 2 seasons? I think if they do, there will A, be an outcry from the community, and B, the team is going to immediately pivot and figure something out, just because they're not going to want to deal with that. They're not going to want to have that be this blemish on what should be a fantastic Q1 in 2025. So, there's been a lot of negativity around this. And some people might even point a finger at me last night engaging in the conversations about it. I'll say this. I still think that it is a fantastic idea. The implementation is one that we can debate about, but I don't want to blindly back the team. It's like, because I get accused of that all the time, right? So it's not about me blindly backing the team. Like, this is a cool idea. Let's give it a shot. It's a trial thing. Let's not shit on every idea that comes out just because everything else didn't work in the past. I know people are cynical, myself included, but I think it's a really interesting idea, and I think it offers an opportunity for us to engage a lot of the folks that do have these larger collections. Now, can bots potentially take advantage of this? There is a chance, right? And I do think that there are just a couple of small tweaks, which I'll get into in a separate video, just because I'm kind of marinating on it based on the conversation we had last night. But that involves like a wild pass or a soul reducing or removing any soulbound cards, right? Any unlocked soulbound is fine. But ultimately, I'm excited for this. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be cool. Will I participate in it? Maybe. Again, it takes nothing away from me from being able to just, if I have extra cards, let's go see. I have a bunch of extra like 1BCX cards. Let me see what the leagues will be like. Let me see how this whole thing shakes out. Maybe I can earn some extra SPS. But I think that if it does become, if the team can get it out and it does become well received, there'll be a lot more incentive to iterate on this and add value to it or add other versions of it that people are asking for. So overall, I'm excited for this. I think this is going to be awesome. I just wish it was here in December, but I get it. The team is, it wasn't mentioned here, but on the town hall, they were trying to get it out in 2024, and I think they're just going to push it to early next year. So it is what it is. I would say that, if anything, that gives them more time to incorporate feedback from the community. So, let your voice be heard. But I would say before we start, just going absolutely bananas on it and saying that it's going to be the death of the game once again, let's give it a shot. And let's see if we can close any loopholes that people see in a productive, constructive manner. But that's all I got for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.